Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking solar farm. Solar farm is a new project that I've been involved in now for a couple of weeks, and the whole company and the whole setup is only 6 weeks old. So normally we wouldn't cover this on this particular channel, but there's quite a few things that will start to progress and will happen in the next couple of weeks. And that's why we decided we're going to go ahead with this, and then it's up to you if you want to join in at this early stage or you want to sit back and see what happens. Obviously, you can follow everything on this channel as always. But there's a couple of interesting concepts with this because solar farm is leaning up against another company, and I will tell you a bit about that later. So that has been around for quite a while. They seem to have the same contract set up. And basically they have a couple of extra things that we're going to go through in this video. On top of it, the return on investment per day is also a bit higher. So the 14.82% is in normal mode, and then you have a lower mode and you have even a high mode for a very short period of time. For the people that are very active on the platform, you can actually get up to 100%, but only for a couple of minutes, and that is the time where you need to make a few decisions. So let's get started. Let's have a look at the platform, see exactly what it is, what you can do with it. So the solar farm project launched. So in 25th of April 2022, you can see here. And shortly after, the 7th of May, also the solar token, which is wrapped around this entire project, has launched, and it has launched with PancakeSwap. People that doesn't know PancakeSwap is basically another crypto exchange where you have hundreds of different coins where you can exchange them into different types of other crypto, or you can get it into stable coins like USDT. And then from there on, you can send it out and exchange it into fiat money. So within the solar platform, there is obviously the main part here, the return on the investment, as we talked about, which is normally 14.28%, but it has multiple different modes, and the lowest one that you have is the cooling mode, you can see here, which is 8%. So this is a 24-hour cycle. When it goes into this, it will go from 8% and then slowly back up in the 24 hours to 14.28. The normal mode, as I mentioned, is 14.28, and that can then also go higher up. So you go into supernova, and that will boost your return on your investment to 20%, and that normally stays stable all the way through the 24-hour cycle. On top of this, when you're in the supernova, you will also have a chance to go hypernova, and hypernova is normally an announcement that now happens in the different media channels that they have, and we will have a look at that later. And this will be normally announced about an hour before things are happening. There's a window of around 2 hours, and your hypernova can happen again various times. So for 30 minutes up to 120 minutes. And the daily returns will also vary, so from 50 to 90%. So there's actually a lot of things to be had. And then during this period of time, you can actually also have solar flares, as you see here in yellow. These will only be for a very short period of time, up to 2 minutes. Here it says 0 to 120. I believe the new one is 60 or 30 to 120 seconds. And the daily return on investment will then reach 90 to 100%. And there's multiple different factors that comes in when this happens. So where this is normally a good time to do your rebuys. So because as the return on investment goes up, the value of the solar panels go down. And there's a whole mechanism in there that you need to try and understand best possible. And one of the ways is basically to be in some of these Telegram apps, for example, where a lot of people discussing when is the best time to buy, when is the best time to sell, when is the best time to also compound, as this very much leans up against that. If you are not compounding, you will lose a lot of the rewards. So what exactly does this contain? So obviously we have the solar token, so which is the one that we basically want to see rise over time, and we want to use it also for various different things. And they will help support for the mining project, and obviously also is going to be used for the launch pad, so for the Metaverse. and will also be part of the solar casino, where this will be the coin to use if you want to gamble. Then you have the solar pad, which is a second part. So it's an exclusive launch pad where you can launch your own projects for extremely low fees. And then part of those fees will go back into the solar farm miners and the solar farm tokens. The entire ecosystem will be supported through this. Then you have the Solarverse, where you have the virtual reality world, where you can then compound, deposit, and interact with your solar panels. And basically, the people that knows the Metaverse is a very big thing. There's even a couple of videos already the company has sent out. They're on YouTube, and obviously we have the links later in the video. Then the most important thing, and what really took me by surprise here, is that not only are we launching a token, we have the virtual reality, we have the Solarverse, but we also have a casino, and basically where you can play your favorite games. And obviously within this, there will also be some profits that will go back to the miners. And that is obviously also very interesting for us. So we have a little video, and let's get started on this one, and we'll continue right after.
Switch.
So if you're pumped after looking at the introduction video that they have made for us here, then let's just go over the investment disclaimer and investment risk that is involved in this project, like any other one. And for this, we will just take you through the text.
The data on this website is for your information only. It does not constitute professional investment advice or advice on tax or legal matters. Please remember that all investment strategies and investments involve risk of loss. Nothing contained in this video should be construed as investment advice. Any reference to an investment's past or potential performance is not, and should not be construed as, a recommendation or as a guarantee of any specific outcome or profit in the future.
Thank you, Billy, for this. And now we're on the platform, so this is what it looks like. And on the left-hand side, it's the only one that actually lights up with any information. And you can see the solar status here is in normal mode, total value locked at the moment, in BNB. So, and then estimated rate for the panels. Daily return on investment at the moment is in normal mode, so 14.28%. And the yearly return on investment is 5,214. Grid maintenance fee, 10%. And then you have some compounding statistics. If you compound twice a day, 37.5. Once per day, 36.37 here. And then twice per week, 32.14%. So it all depends on exactly how active you are. But we haven't built any solar farms. We can't manage anything. And for that, we actually need help, in the matter that we need to connect. And what we need to connect to here is basically our MetaMask wallet or the Wallet Connect. These are the two options that the solar farm provides for you. And in our case, we are mixing up with the MetaMask. And once you have clicked here, it will basically line up, and it will now open up your entire platform. So you can see the built and owned solar panels, how many you have, the current value of them, and then the daily rewards you can expect based on this. You can also see the power generated at the time and the current wallet balance that was in here. So this particular site is where you build the panels. That means you basically buy the panels. So you enter in the amount of BNB that you want. You simply click the build panels here, and then this will come alive. On the other side, you have the managed solar panel. So again, the solar panel owned, which is similar to what you just had here before. panel value will be the same, daily rewards. Also the power generated, but then you will have a special field down here. So it says reward balance, and basically from you start buying, it will slowly but surely rise up. And then when you believe that you are ready to compound, you can then compound by hitting the green button here, or you put the sell button in. So if you want to take some of the coins out. So a very simple platform indeed. And if we just have a quick look, you will see that some of these things change over time. It depends on the solar status. So here we have a cooling period, and then again it tells you just the value locked, the estimated rate. So the total value locked, the TVL, is basically also an indicator of how much you are getting out of it. Daily returns, you can see it's coming from a cooling period of 8% and going back to normal 14.28. And in between, the yearly return on investment will then also change, and you can see even the compounding statistics is also different. So apart from this, they will just enter the different phases that I've just shown you before. So a couple of things that you need to be aware of, because this is a platform where things can fluctuate quite a bit. We've seen it over the last couple of weeks where we have been involved, and especially new people into the crypto market get very confused on this particular part, because the panel price, they can fluctuate. It all depends on the panel price, the amount of watt, the power that is generated within the platform here. So, and also if the panel price goes down, your rewards will also go down. And there's a couple of factors that has an influence on this. So the contract with the TVL balance, basically how much is locked into the platform, and that determines the inflation part, as they call it here. So with each compound, the inflation goes up by the amount of panels you have deposited or compounded, divided by 5. So again, this is an algorithm that is put into this, and then with each sell, the inflation will go down. So basically every single time you sell, you will get lower profits. So this is encouragement to try and have you compound. And we will have a look at this. As you can see below, we can be ahead on the inflation, more deposit, more buys, and more compounds rather than selling. And basically the solar farm recommends that you are using a strategy called 29-1. So what is this? That's basically you compound for 29 days, and on the last day you take home your profit, and then you start another month like this. Obviously it's entirely up to you. There's many different ways of doing this. You can also compound for 60 days, 120 days. There is no limitations. It's all about how you want to progress on the platform itself. So if we have a quick look, we have seen quite a bit of volatility in this particular market. We have seen a lot of people in the last 2 weeks selling off and taking home their profits, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that has confused some of the younger crypto traders in there on why the price is going down, even though we are compounding. And again, that has something to do with what I just mentioned here before. But we have seen a new development in the last couple of days, just before this video. And it looks like the people that wanted to sell have sold. And now we see a slight uptrend again, as you can see on this particular one. And that will make sure that both the coins and the panels are providing more return on the investment. We had a look into it and we did our math. And the last couple of days, we have seen a very steady stream of somewhere between 14-15%, because we haven't had any solar flares in the last couple of days. We believe that all this will start again in a couple of days after this video. So, but it's not fully confirmed yet. So this is something that you need to go in and have a look at the Telegram apps where we normally place ourselves to get our information. So the new configurations that are in there that we keep talking about, the solar flare durations, as we said, it will be between 60 seconds and 180 long now. So the solar flare activity, you will normally be announced ahead of time, and then that period will then last for 2 hours, where it will be optimum, where you can go and do your rebuys, or you can even just do an additional payments, buy more solar panels. So they occur multiple times. So sometimes you see them once or twice in the 2-hour window. Other times it's more. But obviously this is up to the developers itself. So it seems quite random so far what we've been seeing. On top of this, we are obviously also interested in the solar farm and the KYC certificates, and we can see that it's valid for a particular address we have down here and the date it's been issued. You can also find these documents on our website and obviously also on the solar farm website itself. Certificate of compliance they have here, and again you have a look at the smart contract number and you can double check that online too. So earlier I mentioned that there was another interesting project that was already in the works, and obviously here we are not to promote baked beans. We are in actually that same project also, but this is the similar contract as what we see at solar farm. In this case though, we don't have all the solar flares, everything else. It just gives a good and steady income of around 8%. Also for your BNB, it's set up in the same way, also with your MetaVask. And obviously this is again for a long-term projects. So, and we have seen that this has already been around for quite a long time, where people had plenty of opportunities so to get their initial investments out and then from there on enjoy some profits. So that's why we find this very interesting, because not only does solar farm have exactly the same setup as baked beans, they are introducing a higher reward. Why can they do that? Basically it comes down to the metaverse that they want to do. It comes down to the tokens, how they want to use them. So with the casinos, and that's what we find very interesting, there will be a couple of income streams apart from just building up any token. So as always, you need to do your own due diligence, and we at High Tech Investment normally try to prepare most people for all this. And the best way we do that is we add everything we can find on this particular project on our homepage. And let's go through that for a sec to see what we have gathered for you. So here we are on the High Tech Investment website, and as always we try to give a brief description of the individual projects that we are already invested in, and you can find it on the top part, and then obviously a couple of pictures that you have seen in our presentation already. Also more details regarding the solar farm and the launch, so for the Solarverse casino and the Metaverse. And there's a couple of videos down here, and the one you saw earlier was the center one here, and then there's new videos too actually here also showing the Metaverse and the graphic designs that are coming up shortly. You can find and also have a closer look at the solar status. In here it will tell you again a bit about the tokens, Solarverse and the solar casino. And obviously we will give you a link where you can also get started and set yourself up with either MetaMask or Wallet Connect. On top of this, we have also given a bit of insights as to the way you can compound. And as I said before, it's entirely up to you. There is many different strategies, and it doesn't even have to be one of the strategies you see here. It all depends on the platform. If it's 6-1, 29-1, 181 or 355-1, it's obviously up to you. And on top of this, there's a couple of articles also in Medium, and we have found 2 articles in here, and we have made them available. So all you have to do is click here and then you can read through them. We have our usual due diligence section also that you need to go through. So just the fact that you are clicking on our link doesn't mean that we are responsible for your investments. Everybody is grown-ups in here, so they should know what they get themselves into. So make sure you look through all the data that we have, and if you desire to have more, then you need to go and find it before you start any type of investment. The certificates are in here, and then we have also managed to find a couple of PDFs here. So download the solar farm audit. You have a solar farm token audit also, and then the very important frequently asked questions. And this is all something you can do obviously before you even put your money out there. On top of this, we have a range of links that we're given. So the website Solar Farm, where you can get started, the Telegram group, and they have also an announcement group here. If you prefer to go in Twitter or Discord, you can do this. And then you also have access to their YouTube channel. So we hope that all these information will be enough for you at least to start having a look and see if this is something for you. But let's go and have a look at the platform, because there's even more to be gained there. So we're now on the platform, and what you see here is live. So you can see the amount of panels we currently have. And we got about 152 million panels. You can see the panel value, which is the set. It's changing, as we said, all the time. And then the daily rewards, the power generated down here, and then the reward balance comes on top of this. You have your compound and you have your sell button here. And if you want to buy more, you simply put in the number that you want to buy the panels, and then you link up with your MetaMask wallet. And there's a small fee every single time, as with any other crypto part. So especially when you buy panels, it's not too bad. But obviously when you compound, you need to have a look at the fee to see how often you can actually afford to compound, so it doesn't take all the profits away. So doing that every 2 minutes might not be the best way forward. So the dashboard is here, and then if we have a closer look, so we can see the calculator in here, and you can basically add in your BNB investments, so the intervals for how many hours in between you want to do this, how long you want to do your compounding also. It's entirely up to you. You can calculate it, and then you will get a certain number out. On top of this, if you want to refer other people to it, so you can do this. You can download the QR code here, or you have your reference links in there. And that is normally also your setup for your MetaMask wallet. The interesting part that we have is coming on this particular site. So we are in the miner section right now, and then you have the landing section. In the landing section, you have a few more details in here. You have the frequently asked questions, which we have also put on our website. And then you have the white paper. You can go in and have a closer look and see exactly what that contains in here. So obviously through this one here, you will have the video that we presented to you earlier on. And then below you have a range of links. And again, here you can see the websites, the Telegram, Discord, Twitter, Medium. And on top of this, it will also give you a large range for the solar farm products. For the solar miner, it will have similar confirmation of what we have explained to you here, the tokens, what the tokenomics that are involved in this particular part, the solar pad launch that we also mentioned earlier on, and then obviously the Metaverse that is coming in. There's roadmaps where you can have a look at exactly how this is going to go, why to choose solar farm. And then you have some interesting information also on the core team in here, a couple of the people that are involved and what they have done before. And then you have your strategies, which is obviously one of the things that many people are discussing, which is the best strategy, when to buy, when to sell, and obviously when to compound. There's also a couple of things in here, especially the TVL that people not always know if they're new to crypto. So total value locked is basically the overall crypto assets in there. And then there's also contracts and certificates that you can find within the platform. So there is plenty of information to be had, both on our webpage and also on the solar farm. You should have enough, at least to get started off with a good compliance check and see if this is definitely something for you. So there you have it, a brand new product. So basically we love the idea here for the solar token. So we like the tokenomics behind it, and we can definitely see some good positive things that the team has got going for themselves. They are already looking at making some upgrades. So obviously, if you are going into the Telegram group and doing your research, you will see that this is actually happening as we speak. Exactly which way they're going to go, it's not 100% set in stone yet. But it's good to know, at least that the beginning here has shown that there's improvements that can be done, and the team is very eager to get the entire community involved in this. So they have actually already had a couple of votes over the Telegram apps, as the one we are following here. And that means that obviously the miners are a very important part in this whole thing. We also mentioned why we were so eager of getting started here is basically because the launch is only a couple of weeks away from what we understand, and that will give the early birds a chance to come in, and might come in at a lower price compared to what it's going to be in weeks to come. Obviously, we do not know if the development is going to go fast or slow in this environment that we're in right now. So it's definitely one that is difficult to call. And that's why it's obviously your decision. Yeah. So we are doing what we find is best for us, and you have to do the same. So make sure that you only play with money you can afford to lose, and this is not your rent money or anything else to support your family. So that is definitely not recommended. We hope you're going to have at least a look at it, and we're always ready to hear what you got to say. So by all means, leave comments below. And I will see you on one of the future videos where we'll go even closer and see what we have done over a short or maybe longer period of time. Bye-bye.